Hi everyone, this is Meredith with Soul Navigation, and tonight we're doing something really exciting. We're going to do Pisces Rising. So if you've liked my station, please subscribe so you can get my videos. And it's been a little while since I've added to my Rising collection, but this is my fourth Rising video. And I'm going to try my hardest to do this one and to do it well. You know, this was a little bit tough for me because Pisces Rising is just so infinitely big. It's enormous. It is boundless, and it rules the space of the infinite. And so I also like to channel my information in my descriptions, and I like to go beyond the stereotype, as I did with my other videos. I like to go deep, 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 and Pisces deserves that. So I'm going to dive right in, but I would love it if you were a subscriber, and if you just rang the little subscription bell, that would be good. Then you will get notifications when my next videos go up. And next I will do my Aries Rising video. So you know that your Ascendant is your rising sign. And what does your rising sign do? Well, it reveals the ways in which you present yourself to others, as well as the ways in which you immediately respond to the world around you. And it also describes how you project yourself out into the environment, as well as the kinds of experiences and lessons you will attract into your life. And so, in order to make life meaningful. So your rising sign was the sign that was rising on the eastern horizon at the moment you took your first breath. It's also called the Ascendant of your natal chart. And it's just one of many things that you need to take into consideration when you're trying to learn about a horoscope or a natal chart. So Pisces rising, I think, is a very difficult rising sign to explain. And I think it might be the hardest to explain. Now, why do I say this? Because Pisces energy melds and morphs into other energies. Like if I had a glass of water and I put blue food coloring inside the water, a drop, if I just put a drop of blue food coloring, the clear water absorbs it, and now it becomes blue. And sometimes it doesn't even remember what it was before the blue. So now I'm supposed to describe what that clear water is like. Okay? So let's just agree that this is going to be a little bit hard and a little bit nebulous to pin down, but I'm going to give it my very best shot, and I hope you like it, and I would love your comments below. I'm probably not going to be able to say everything there is to say because I could talk about Pisces rising for 3 hours and still not be able to contain it, but I'm going to try my best. So I've got my sparkling water with lime. You get your drink and sit back and relax with me and let me know what you think at the end. So I want to start with what a remarkable gift a Pisces rising gets in this lifetime. And when this particular gift, I'll explain in a minute, when it is utilized, it is so powerful, it is so extraordinary that others will stand in awe of it, and they will usually feel a pang of envy. Healthy Pisces risings can tune out the clank and the noise, and they can truly listen to the deeper voice of inspiration in the form of intuition, which ends up being almost a magical guide for them in this lifetime. So Pisces rising is about as magical as it gets when they're healthy. These people, when they're healthy, are tapped into the awareness that they are a part of something greater than the self. Their individuality actually sees themselves as a part of something greater than their own ego, their own body, just like when I put the drop of blue food coloring in and they merged, the water merged with the blue food coloring and became that. That is their power. They're shapeshifters. Now, this might seem like a paradox, as many Pisces risings will cope by shape-shifting or adopting a form that is appropriate to whatever the situation calls for. A lot of them are shamans. So working with their sensitivity, their intuition, and their deeply in touch emotions is their very best approach to life. It's what they're best at. There's also a great capacity to act with enormous compassion towards others so that their life becomes dedicated to the service of others. They like to champion others and underdogs, and you might see these people getting involved with or spearheading altruistic causes that they really, really believe in. They make phenomenal poets, directors, writers, actors, because they can understand life from so many different perspectives, and they can easily move in and out of characters. They can be great public speakers. They can be phenomenal therapists and counselors and healers, and even charismatic ministers or spiritual gurus, because they have a vast outlet to express emotions and compassion. Now, Pisces rising has an expanded level of awareness, and when they're healthy, more so than most people, they learn at a very young age how to become deeply aware of others' needs, others' desires, motives, motivations, sensitivities, and their dreams. And they intuitively learn how to manage or survive their environment, and by using their intuition, and they learn how to simultaneously make others happy. So they know what it takes to make you comfortable and happy. And that is usually a goal of theirs, to bring comfort and peace and harmony to any situation. Now, they eventually come to learn at different points in their life that selflessness and sacrifice of their own personal will, or their own personal agenda, or their own personal ego is required to make both their life and the world better. So quickly, the lessons become about learning when to give and how to not overgive, and also when to hold back in order to sort of protect their mental, physical, and emotional health. So quickly, they will receive lessons that will test boundaries, and not overgiving will become one of their constant life challenges. And when they're unsuccessful, they find themselves giving themselves away, and eventually they will be taken advantage of. Show me a Pisces rising that has never been taken advantage of. It is rare. If you are a Pisces rising and you have never been taken advantage of, I would love to do your chart. Because that's their shadow lesson, one of them. But what's hard about being Pisces rising is that they can have a real struggle, and they may have trouble coping with their level of sensitivity. And so the realities of life can be so brutally harsh and painful to deal with for a Pisces rising, or they get thrown into harsh realities and their sensitivities just really leave them crushed. Many of my clients who are Pisces rising just get devastated inside their relationships that let them down. And they have a very, very, maybe the most difficult time saying goodbye or breaking up. They struggle. They just get flatlined. When they can't deal with life's hardships and challenges, they can easily seek the means of escape. And escapism can be via retreating into isolation, hiding in their own bedroom, hiding behind a computer screen, getting lost in a video game, drugs, alcohol, illness, even self-induced madness. They can create a paranoia. These souls can easily indulge in anything that makes them feel better because they have these excessive and big, giant emotions, because they feel what you feel. They feel what all souls feel, and so it's quite overwhelming. They are open-hearted souls, and when they're standing in a room of 1,000 vibrations, they feel the collective and they feel all the individual feelings and emotions. But because they have these big emotions and impulses and appetites for life and people, and they are boundless, they rule the space of the infinite. So whatever my feelings are from here to infinity is what I feel. So their emotions take over the mind, and they can't help it. They don't know how to turn it off. So with Pisces rising, your sensitivity is both your gift and your challenge. And learning to recognize the impulses and the feelings that stir through you for whatever they are. And then to find a healthy outlet for those feelings, for the expression of those feelings. That is when you tap into your gift. It's almost like this, you merge with your intuition, you merge with your heart, and then you let that flow out of you through art or poetry or healing or counseling or love. When you bask in the love of a Pisces rising, you will understand what it means to be divinely loved. Their love, if you are so lucky to be loved by a Pisces rising, and I am, and when they love you right, your world will change because you've got an advocate and a dream weaver that will help you weave your dream come true. My mom was a Pisces rising, and my brother is a Pisces rising. My mom is a Pisces rising, I should say. And, you know, it's really interesting. While all the other kids got stuff, and when I went to college, other moms did cookie care packages and, I don't know, pillows and blankets. And my mom's gift to me was her intuition. I call her psychic mom, Pisces rising, and she's a Cancer. But she gave me the gift of developing my EQ and developing my IQ. She made me see the life through a metaphoric lens of what are the lessons that Spirit or God or your karma are trying to teach you. So she always taught me how to see beneath the surface. And would I have liked the cookie care package? Yeah, probably. But she helped shape my entire world by sharing her intuition and her intuitive perspective in a way that sang a song in my heart, and I've never forgotten it. And so if you have a Pisces rising in your life, I am sure they do some version of this for you. So with Pisces rising, you need to balance great compassion, creativity, intuition, sensitivity with the constant urge of kind of wanting to escape from the individual self and sometimes life by merging with something greater than yourself. So I hope you understand what I'm talking about. Learning how to manifest their many gifts: intuition, compassion, visionary abilities, their sixth sense, their ability to weave a dream, like I said, and live in the infinite possibilities of life. At the same time, stay really, really grounded on the earthly plane. That's hard to do. That's really hard to do because these people are out there. They see the secrets of life that are playing underneath the surface. And it's hard to stay on the earthly plane when you're the only one in the room that can see. It's lonely. It is so lonely. So they need to stay grounded on earth. So because this is where humans are, and this is where we are asked to relate to others and assist others, and even help implement and inspire and oftentimes heal, and give visions and solutions that can help advance life, their life, your life, and our world, all human life. Pisces Rising is also an animal communicator, so they could do this with animals. If they escape or isolate or become so far out there, it's kind of an easy thing for them to do. They become unrelatable, and nobody benefits from that. They don't even benefit from that. Then they just go and hibernate. They're really good at hiding. This is a little bit of a shyer sign. They're not always shy. I've seen Pisces Rising that are really flamboyant, but they're kind of shy and quiet. I'm going to give you some really great examples in a minute. Rising signs also have a lot to do with how we look and how we present ourselves, and it describes the social mask that we wear. It's what people see when they first meet you, the first impression, and you can never make a first impression twice. So if you have your sun or moon in a harmonious aspect with the ascendant, then others can easily see the real you. But if not, it might take a little while to get past the rising sign to see the sun sign, the soul. So what does Pisces Rising look like? I can usually tell a Pisces Rising by their eyes. They have the most beautiful, huge eyes, big pools that you can just lose yourself in. Pisces eyes are so distinct. I love Aquarian eyes too. I talked about that in my Aquarius Rising video, but the Pisces eyes are just so enormous. They're kind of like cartoon character eyes, Betty Boop eyes, just incredible. Now, not all of them have that feature, but many. And if they don't have those big eyes, then they have an intense ability to see through you. So their eyes have a magic in them. And Pisces are rather soft. They're kind of fleshy. They're usually a little bit more petite, short. They're a little bit rounder and fuller. They're very soft. They don't have sharp edges or sharp features. They're not robotic. They're fluid. They're ruled by Neptune and Jupiter. Jupiter is the old ruler. Neptune is the new ruler, and Neptune is the god of the sea. And so they're very watery, and they're very fluid. And they also, even if they're a man, they can be quite beautiful. Pisces risings are oftentimes beautiful, glamorous people, and they have a feminine energy about them. So even the men will have a beautifulness about them. And I'll give you some examples of that. They can have very delicate features. So these are probably not like the most rugged of souls. They probably have delicate hands, or they may not even get their hands dirty. And they would likely present themselves in a softer way, and they probably wouldn't be in your face and harsh and dogmatic and trying to get a point across. They want you to be comfortable, and they're not comfortable if you're not comfortable, because they merge, and so they can feel what you feel. And so if you're uncomfortable, they're uncomfortable. So they're rarely antagonistic. And if they are antagonistic, or if they are harsh, they know it, and they embarrass themselves, and they pull back, rein in, and kind of try to do a redo. They never want to leave you with just a harsh discomfort. One thing they can do, though, that makes you uncomfortable is they victimize themselves, but we'll talk about that in a minute. That's when they're unhealthy. But Pisces rising, look how cute my cat is. Pisces rising is oftentimes fascinating and enchanting and alluring and magnetic and charming, and they can be glamorous, or at least they can have a personality that is so intriguing that if they're not over the top glamorous, they're usually quite beautiful, but they often carry themselves with great pride, and they ooze this elixir of charm and good looks and they can be incredibly entertaining people because they can step out of the box. She's not Pisces rising, she's Taurus, but isn't she beautiful? She's a beauty too. She kind of, maybe she's Pisces rising, I don't know my cat's rising sign. But at hello, these people, Pisces rising, are captivating and alluring, and it's like, ooh, I want what you have. Needless to say, these people are highly photogenic, and they're model-like beautiful at times. Lots of models are Pisces rising. And look at their eyes. So let's give you a couple example. I think Antonio Banderas has the quintessential Pisces eyes. George Clooney, totally photogenic, very beautiful man. I wouldn't say he's feminine, but I would say he's beautiful. Ryan Gosling, perfect example. Gwyneth Paltrow, look at her eyes. I never paid attention to her eyes. I went and looked her up. Robert Redford, Jimmy Fallon, so entertaining, right? And I wouldn't say he's feminine, but there's an androgynous side to him in a way. Paul McCarthy, Johnny Cash, I thought that was interesting. There's the artist. Cindy Crawford, Michael Jackson, isn't that perfect? And Michael Jackson got in trouble for the exact things we're talking about. I mean, Neverland Ranch, right? And accusations with the boys, loving them. You know, Pisces rising is love exalted, and all they want is to make you comfortable, to make you feel loved. Took it too far, and he escaped, and he wore a mask. Whitney Houston, there's the escape. Bruno Mars, those are the eyes. Deepak Chopra, he can see right through you, spiritual guru. Ringo Starr, Gertrude Stein, there's the poet, the writer, the author. John McCain, very interesting. He's a Virgo. I see him as a Virgo, but his Pisces rising, and I do think he wanted to help heal this country. Whether you believe in his politics or not, I think he had that feeling inside of him. I think that was a drive, a genuine drive. So Pisces rising people are usually very friendly, and they have this unbelievable gift in making other people feel comfortable right away. They hate hurting people's feelings, and they usually approach life with just this open heart and this open mind, and they're gentle, and they have this deep empathy for whatever the situation is asking you to take on. And these qualities are the keys to fulfilling their soul's function in this lifetime. So they're here to minister to others, whether it is as a healer or a spiritual counselor, or simply as a compassionate listener, or a non-judgmental friend, or a brilliant, insightful poet, musician, artist. They want to take you to nirvana. They want to open your eyes up to the infinite possibility of your life, your power, and their life and their power, and ultimately love. I feel like Pisces risings are in touch with their divine purpose, where other rising signs are not necessarily. They may spend a lifetime trying to figure that out. Pisces rising know that they are so special that they feel very alone in that specialness, and that specialness feels alienating and sometimes painful and sometimes bittersweet. Sometimes there's a sadness in it. They're unselfish. Others always seek them out when they're in need because they'll be there for you. And I think you'll probably help your Pisces rising friend the most by helping them learn their limitations and not feeling guilty for having them. So many Pisces risings can be directionless, but it's not always true. If you're undeveloped, then yes, possibly, because it's hard. It's very, very hard to channel so many emotions and then put those emotions and thoughts in intuitive hits and lessons and psychic information that you're getting, and channel that and put that into the pragmatic operations of the world. So they can become really overwhelmed, and they can see the infinite. They can see all the infinite of possibilities. So they have a hard time valuing the concrete over the abstract. They see life metaphorically. They see the storyline. They hear the music that's playing underneath the surface. They're in the outer world, and it's hard to get it to come down into like Taurus or Capricorn's concrete, pragmatic bricks and mortar. They have, if they're awake to these gifts inside of them, they will come to know that they are a divine vessel, and that they will also know that they have a very meaningful and a grand purpose and direction inside of them. Oftentimes these people are literally guardian angels. If you have a Pisces rising in your life that loves you right, they are probably your earthbound guardian angel. So you have to look at Jupiter and also Neptune, because Pisces is dependent on that particular generator, on those particular planets. And each sign operates differently. The sign is very susceptible around where its planetary ruler is. So it's critical to blend these two. So for example, my mom has Jupiter in Leo. So if you take the old ruler, which is Jupiter, Neptune is the new ruler, and you look at her Pisces rising sign, I have to go find Jupiter in Leo in the 6th house in order to understand how this Pisces rising is showing up. And she is very Leo. She is a very confident woman, and she's also very concrete. And that 6th house is Virgo's house, and so it adds that flavor. So you kind of need to know, it's really important to know the planetary ruler, especially with Pisces, because remember I told you Pisces takes on the energy of the other, it takes on the energy of the other. So you want to know the generator. So it's kind of like this. Pisces rising is the car, and Jupiter, in this case, Jupiter in Leo, is the fuel to go into the car. And so you can't know how it will run unless you know what kind of fuel you're putting into it. So my brother is also Pisces rising, and I love these two people. They are so intuitive. They're visionaries. They are mind-boggling smart. They have intellect infinite, and they blend their EQ with their IQ. They have unbelievable intuition and a craft where they can just kind of see the world and all of its problems. And also they're quite skilled at coming up with ways in order to heal the world. And that's oftentimes what we're sitting around talking about. So my brother, he has Jupiter in Aquarius. So he's a little less sensitive than my mom. And I mean, not really, but he would never come across as a really super sensitive soul. You have to get to know him to know that about him. And that's because Aquarius can be so logical and detached that Aquarius and Jupiter is running his Pisces show. And remember, Pisces is the chameleon. So Pisces rising, it's so important to know where Jupiter is in your chart. I like to use Jupiter over Neptune because it moves faster, and it's the old ruler. So they're very similar in a lot of ways, but their approach to life, you can see it in their Jupiter signs. So because Pisces are boundless, because they rule the space of the infinite, you know, Pisces house is basically wherever God lives. So where is God? That's Pisces. So that's Pisces rising. That's what they're tapped into. And you can be an atheist and be a Pisces, but I'm just saying it's in that space of that omnipotent space of everything, the infinite. So because they are boundless, they have a really hard time drawing boundaries. They have a hard time letting go, saying no, and saying goodbye, and breaking up. They, my clients that are Pisces and Pisces rising, they just get flatlined over a breakup. I mean, they just get so devastated. It is so unbearable. That's why I think sometimes they like to alienate, because love is painful for them, because they will love you in the most profound and divine way. So not setting good boundaries sets them up to become a doormat, and they can truly become victimized. And they are the genuine victims of more dominant souls oftentimes. Because of their sweetness, sometimes they attract troubled souls, and they see the goodness inside of others, so they're more willing than most people to get involved with dangerous souls. And they see out of romantic and optimistic rose-colored glasses at first, until they really allow themselves to remove that and get into deeper, more authentic truths, and tap into the true, authentic, and profound and deep metaphor that runs underneath the activity that's occurring. So you might think that they're just at a party to party, but truthfully, they see the enormous picture and how others are perceived and received, and they can connect the dots of the entire story. And they're intuitive geniuses, to be honest with you. They are the intuitive genius, and they can connect numerous deeper thoughts and speak in spiritual truths that get you to the jugular and can turn your world upside down and inside out with an awareness that seems godlike. Go back and listen to what I just said, because it is so profound. It is so rich. It is so deep. You're not going to get the cookie box, but what you're going to get will change your life forever. They have been given the gift of sight, and they have been given the gift of knowing. I don't know how. I don't know why. I just know it's so. They have the kind of sight that sees deeply inside, the kind of sight that others don't have, the kind of sight that speaks in those ultimate divine truths. And when you're loved well by a Pisces rising, you will know the difference. These people know your needs before you even know them. They are psychic. They get you better than you get you. They also, when they're healthy, they get the world. And they oftentimes bring their open-minded, infinite, boundless love to the hello. Like, you'll see it right away. I hope you liked my Pisces Rising video, and if you are a Pisces, leave me some feedback and let me know what you think. And I might circle back around and do a Pisces Rising part 2. Take care, and goodbye from my house to yours.